So I thought I talk about what is more important to pedagogy. I think it's equally important to make sure that your ambience, architectural ambience, the built environment, is perhaps more important than a lot of other things. I know the marvels of technology is, overtaking everything else. But if you don't please the five senses that you have, then I think you'll be very lazy, very, very unattentive or inattentive in classes. So, and I thought I'd go back in history and see what people used to do, how they used to sit, and how we sit now. So I've got these slides probably in the wrong order, but I'll talk about it. The one on the left, I think the teacher is either naked, or perhaps the students don't know what to do, or probably the teacher has a long stick. So they're all very, very afraid-looking people or students. That was the arrangement then, and the one on the right is the arrangement now. Of course, technology has taken over. Everyone has a laptop each and whatnot. My main comment that I want to make is, over centuries, maybe 200 years ago, we used to sit in kindergarten in groups, small desks, 4 or 5 people around it. And, of course, from olden days, we've got some modern setup. And it took us about 200-300 years to realize the best form of seating arrangement is what used to be in kindergartens. So we have now come to realize that the best seating arrangement in a more interactive and collaborative learning space is really group seating, so people can interact more often. They can see each other's face, they can see each other's back, they can see their eyes, they can see their mouths, they can see their gestures. So it's all part of learning. So it's amazing how we have failed to realize that what we used to learn when we were 5 years old, 6 years old, 4 years old is what is perhaps the best way to arrange our seats, and it enhances pedagogy. And of course, there are all the other types of arrangement. I feel that the ambience should be such that it creates excitement, and you can do it in several ways. Colors, color of the seats, the plants, the way you sit, the way you talk, and of course the colors of furniture, space, the volume of space is important, and the arrangement of seats, casual seating, and group or conference type seating, youth seating, and we can achieve these by just colors. And I'll show you examples of what we've done in Cook Islands. It doesn't cost much for us to paint the 4 walls, look at the ceiling, look at the floor, and just create colors that excite people. Yellow comes to mind, of course. And all this room has done, it made it exciting by just coloring one wall. So, and this is again another ambience that you have. It's just exciting to be in a space which is different. So, and if you look at, looks like Biman actually, but no. And the materials of the wall. This is actually glass wall. You can write on it, you can wipe it, and the seats and colors, the floors. And I'll tell you what we've done in Cook Islands. We did the same thing in Cook Islands. People are excited. The problem is only 5 students there. We should actually do it in Lodala. But you can see it is in Cook Islands. It's become very, very exciting. The people are quite happy about it. And of course, there's light, different shapes of furniture. I don't know what these books are for, but you can see what I'm trying to say. Now, in terms of architecture, it is like fashion. We need to change our environment as we go along. Now, it's like going to a pub. Why would you go to a pub and then leave it and then move to another pub? I know it's pub crawling, but actually it's the atmosphere. You probably don't like the girls there because you're not able to fix one, so you move to the next lot. And then it is about, pardon? And I think this is perhaps a very discouraging comment by this lady. I don't think this will work. I think we should talk to each other. We can interact with each other so that it's more relaxing. And actually, that was it. I don't know what you said, Ashwin, but I actually forgot what I was saying. Pardon? Anyway, I actually only had 2 hours to prepare, and Ashwin spoiled it in 5 minutes. Right. There are actually reasons and ways how you can relax your body to actually make yourself comfortable. So I'll try and see if I can draw a situation which actually makes you relax. So the human anatomy is such. It's perhaps the best designed entity in mankind, the human body. So if the seating arrangement, the ergonomics of the whole thing, this is actually a seat, and most of the seats in Lodala is like that. Now, if you slightly tilt it like that, it actually gives a more relaxed atmosphere. This actually, the way you're sitting there is actually quite stiff and actually does bore you over time. Now we can go even more relaxing. You change the angles and you do that. And that is like sitting in a settee. And that's perhaps a more relaxing way to listening and teaching and engaging. So I think we should go forward and perhaps look at doing these sort of things rather than just stiff chairs, green plastic chairs that we have. We kick them around. And actually it is, as much as people want to believe that it is not the right suggestion that I'm making. Actually, it's quite important. These little things actually make a lot of difference. How you sit, how you listen, and how you interact with people. So going back to the slides, research have shown that group seating is perhaps a best way of actually interaction and listening to people. And it gives you a better atmosphere of learning. Now, this sort of sitting, what we have seen is you can't see the person behind you because you probably had your back turning to see, who's talking, and so you only rely on his voice. So there are situations where maybe we should go and make those seats here swivel, so you can actually turn and see who's talking. So the 5 senses are important: the smell, the hearing, and all that sort of thing. Because I might get a lot of flack from you guys if I say this, but I'll say this anyway. I'm against online learning. I am for face-to-face. Now, if you had listened to me speaking on a screen, you probably wouldn't get the same appreciation, maybe, or otherwise, other than if you come and listen here, because my actions, the way I actually do things is very important. So I think we have, mankind have taken it took us 200 years to spoil the planet. I think we're on the brink of disaster. And I think it won't be too long. The technology will also perhaps, let me make this very clear. This is my personal view. I don't want to be attacked because, right. So I think the technology, the way we are going, will perhaps destroy our education or pedagogy if we rely too much on technology. Imagine if we have a solar storm, we don't have power for 6 months, 12 months, 2 months, all this is gone. So we'll go back to perhaps face-to-face and reinvent the wheel again, and then, the cycle will move on. So I believe in face-to-face, and when you have a built environment for face-to-face, architecturally is so important to ensure that you have an environment which is conducive to learning, not only the technology. I mean, I've seen the speakers, with all sorts of subjects. I don't understand half of it. But architecturally, which is my concern, is actually what we should embrace and perhaps move on with what we do in USP. So it's rather short paper, but I haven't had much time. I've been traveling around, so I only had 2 hours before lunch to put it together. So if any questions, of course, I will answer. Yes, I thought you'll have one.